Ay Karbala, ay Karbala, ay Karbala, ay Karbala.
यासिर मुसलमान के प्यारे हैं हुसैन चरखे नौए बशर के तारे हैं हुसैन इंसान को बेदार तो हो लेने दो हर कौम पुकारेगी हमारे हैं हुसैन.
As we all know that the day of Ashura, it's very important, and especially for Muslims, because we believe that the day of judgment is going to come on Ashura.
Right.
And but for non-Muslims, I think the day of Ashura is also very important because Imam Hussein and his companions, they sacrificed their life for justice to save humanity, not to save Muslims, but to save all the communities, to stand up for their rights, to stand up for against oppression, against cruelty. So I think Imam Hussein and his companions, they are loved by not only by Muslims but also by non-Muslims, by Jewish, from Christianity, from all over the world. They are going and they are loved by them.
Okay. So let's start with, before I move on to Dr. Sahib over here, I want you to sort of build up the history that went on in this specific fight of Karbala on the 10th of Muharram.
Well, there are many important historical facts, but most important fact is that Yazid government, his dynasty, they were torturing the people. They were not giving their rights. They were oppressing people, and they were violating the laws of Islam.
Taking laws in their own hand, basically.
Yeah, and they were killing people, and not only the government higher-ups, but also we have read in the books that corruption, injustice, cruelty, oppression, this was the part of the government. Secondly, our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they have stated in many, we have read in many books, the sayings of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in which they clearly said that how my son Hussein, he will be martyred, where he will be martyred. And Jibreel Amin alayhi salam, he gave the soil of that land, Karbala, to our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and later our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they give that soil to his beloved wife, Hazrat Bibi Salma Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anha.
Okay.
And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told all the consequences on the facts that how this
is going to happen. Right.
Wow. But then at the same time, I want you to share it with all our viewers out there as well. That what does Karbala actually marks in our minds too as well? I think this is something which is very important for the younger generations to know.
Karbala, it marks in our mind that we have to stand up for our rights, and we have to identify the right direction, the right path, and we have to mark that what is right and what is wrong, what is good and what is bad, and we have to stand up against oppression, against cruelty, against injustice. Secondly, it identifies that on which path, on which direction we are following. Either we are following the right path or the wrong path. Either we are standing with pious, virtuous people or with the wicked, evil people.
Right.
So, and lastly, I'm going to tell that Karbala marks in our mind the greatest sacrifices of Imam Hussein and his companions. They sacrificed to save humanity, to save Islam, to save the teachings of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
That's true.
Thank you very much for sharing that with us. But
no, as he's rightly said. So on the 2nd of Muharram, Hazrat Imam Hussein along with 72 other companions had reached Karbala and then started establishing their tents over there. And let me mention, their first priority, their first agenda was political negotiations, ladies and gentlemen. The plan or the agenda was not a war. So later on, as things were not turning in their favor, of course, there was a war indeed, and everything ended on the 10th of Muharram. And this was the day when all the shahadats were happening. So after 72 people were martyred, the women were left alone to mourn for their, loved ones, of course, and then taken into custody. We'll come to that later on. But this question is for both of you. A war for the purpose of peace. What does this teach us?
Well, a war for purpose of peace, it teaches us that how we have to save humanity, how we have to stand up for our rights. And like Imam Hussein, when he started his journey from Medina, he went to Makkah to offer Hajj privilege, but he was forced, and he was by the governor of Makkah either to take oath, to take bath,
Right.
or he was told that he's going to be martyred. So I think Hazrat Imam Hussain, he said that this land of Makkah is the holiest land,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to martyr the innocent people. So his basic his right was that he was not going for war,
Yeah.
because he had his 6 months old
Son
younger
with
son,
him, yes.
Hazrat
Hazrat
Ali
Ali
Asghar
Asghar.
Razi Allah Ta'ala.
Yes.
He had women with him. He
Right.
had his daughter with him. He had his sister with him. He had nephews with him.
Right, right,
So
absolutely.
the message was that we have to stand for our rights, and we have to stand against injustice, against cruelty, against illegitimate government.
Right.
That what messages do we learn or do we get from the life of Hazrat Imam Hussain radiallahu anhu as well?
Well, definitely Hazrat Imam Hussein's life is an inspiration for all mankind.
Indeed.
Not only for Muslims, but also for non-Muslims, because he has sacrificed not only his life, but also his family members, his companions, including his sons, his nephew, to save humanity, to save the true teachings of Islam, that is justice, tolerance, peace in
Right.
the society, that is. And Imam Hussain, as we all know, that he was raised from his childhood by the greatest of all mankind, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he has learned the generosity, the wisdom, and peace and tolerance, justice, equality from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and from his father, Sher Khuda, Hazrat Ali Karamallah Wajhul Kareem. He has learned the bravery, the courage. So the message which we learned is that we should stand up against the cruelty, against the illegitimate government, and we should stand up for our own rights. And the best way to stand up is by negotiation.
Of course.
And if negotiations are not possible, then we can sacrifice our life for a greater cause to save humanity. Today we can follow the footsteps of Imam Hussain by his saying, "A man like me can never give allegiance to a man like him." Not only me, but a man like me,
Like me.
whoever follows the teaching of Islam,
Yeah.
the teachings of and true principles of humanity, justice, tolerance, can never give a hand in a hand of cruel oppressor. So I think the message is very clear and loud,
Absolutely.
that we should stand for our rights, and we should help poors and help others. And this is what we have seen, the generosity, the example of Imam Hussain alayhi salam and his companions.
Absolutely.
ay Karbala, ay Karbala.
क्या सिर्फ मुसलमान के प्यारे हैं हुसैन, चरखे नौए बशर के तारे हैं हुसैन। इंसान को बेदार तो हो लेने दो, हर कौम पुकारेगी हमारे हैं हुसैन।